Nairobi has been picked alongside other global cities to host the second HERWorld Energy Forum, a global think tank that seeks to address the gender gap in the energy and extractive sector as the world marks International Women's Day. Here to tell us a little bit more on how exactly they hope to bridge this gap is CEO and founder of Women in Energy and Extractives Africa. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Maya, for having me.
Now, of course, this is the first time that this forum is being held here in Kenya. Now, what's the main agenda for this forum this year?
Well, HERWorld17, as you said, is in its second installment. And the biggest thing we're trying to push is women are part of this industry and we need to earn that position. We have learned and now it's time for us to earn and to be able to break that glass ceiling. As Sheryl Sandberg said, where she wrote Lean In, the founder of Facebook, the CEO of Facebook, she said that we must lean in, all in, join in. And that is the theme of HERWorld2017, and we couldn't be happier. The turnout has been absolutely great. We've just finished at the Golden Tulip Hotel in Nairobi, and we've had an array of speakers. And one theme, one thing, every single person has said is, we need more. Women need more opportunities to air their insights, especially into a male-dominated industry such as the energy and extractive sectors.
Speaking of the speakers, so which speakers are attending this forum?
Yes, our keynote speaker was Eke Eke, who is the founder and the chairman of Spring Rock Group. Spring Rock Group has a different array of activities they carry out in their business groups, especially within the energy sector. And one thing he especially did push for, he said, I challenge Kenyans. We need to ensure that we do have Kenyans who are operating wells in the oil and gas industry, as well as owning acreage. Why can't we do it? We absolutely can. Other speakers involved were Brian Morioki, country head of Shell, as well as many trailblazing women, Jean Gidinji from KPMG, who heads their natural resources and extractive sector. We also had Miriam Geshago, who works with gender consultancy. We had a representative from UN Women, Jacinta Okwaro, who gave great insight into the perspective of how are we going to end this gender gap.
As you've said, this is quite a male-dominated industry. What would you say are the biggest barriers that women in energy are facing today?
The biggest barriers women in energy are facing is we need to start looking at the involvement of women from conception to implementation. And this is the entire energy value chain. Women are the caregivers and they are the producers of energy. When you look back and you look in the rural areas, you see women are the ones who collect the firewood. They go collect the water. That turns and translates into energy. So we need to ensure throughout the entire value chain, are we keeping women inside? Are we making sure they're involved? And to what extent are we doing so? And another thing which I also always like to reiterate upon is the involvement and the inclusivity of men and women. If we're trying to break into a male-dominated sector, we need to ensure that we also have the men who are sitting on the agenda and can contribute constructively.
And how can men contribute to this bridging the gap of the gender gap?
Men can contribute by just getting involved. They can contribute by, when you see a female employee who is coming into the industry, help her, give her mentorship, ensure that we look at things from a sustainable approach. If we only focus on the women already entering the industry, that is all right, but we need to start from the young girls in high school, and that's what we've been trying to do with our STEM outreach program, where we have different men from different organizations take a big part in as well.
What are you as an organization doing to bridge the gender gap?
What WEX Africa as an organization are doing to bridge this gender gap is we have a number of programs. Firstly, we run our STEM outreach program, which last year we targeted around 50,000 girls and were able to meet 30,000 young girls in about 50 different schools around the country. And being able to speak to them and talk to them about career choices. As many may know or may not know, in the Kenyan educational system, it's at the end of Form 2 when you select your courses to go further. We need to make sure we're speaking to these young girls from that point and telling them STEM courses, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics are very important and very imperative, especially when you tie it in with the robust infrastructure agenda Kenya has for Vision 2030.
Do you feel that we've progressed as women as the years have gone by and we're pushing this, bridging this gender gap? Have we made good strides?
Yes, we absolutely have made great strides. Last year in Davos at the World Economic Forum, 22 CEOs signed and said, we want to end gender parity. We want to be a part of it. And these are women CEOs involved as well. What we have been doing as women is taking an active role. HERWorld17 that happened today was just a drop in the ocean of what other women are doing and what women should be doing. So it all starts with taking your little approach and making sure that you're able to do something at the end of the day. It's the small bit that counts rather than the large gesture, the large motion.
Now, the HERWorld Forum, what are your hopes, what are your expectations from the outcome?
Well, the HERWorld Forum, the biggest theme about it was the energy transition and leaning into next generation skill building. We had great panels that came out of it, and what everybody was saying was we need to have this every month. Women need to meet, women need to talk. Last year we had about 5,000 people who are able to stream online live. This year, we already have about 30,000 people online streaming live. We have our 22 different host cities, ranging from Dallas to Aberdeen to The Hague to Dubai, and obviously Nairobi, Kenya, that has served as the hub, and last year was not there. So already that we are creating that footprint, and we are able to reach Africa, and sub-Saharan Africa is already strides in its own by women such as Katie Manhart, who is the founder of Pink Petro.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, and I'd like to say a happy Women's Day to you.
Thank you so much, Maya, and happy International Women's Day to you. Thank you very much.